Do you have prayer?
Yes. Prayer today is, Dear Lord, the city of Cleveland has lost 2 officers last Thursday night, September 3rd. Our hearts are heavy today with the amount of loss all of us are feeling. Police Sergeant James Cernovich had a long and distinguished career protecting Ohioans. He had a wife and 3 children, a 22-year veteran policeman. The second was Nick Zabel, age 39. He had post-traumatic stress disorder. It's real. Committed suicide. He's survived by his wife and children. Please join our hearts and minds to honor those whose lives were lost while defending the noble ideals of peace, security, and freedom. These were dedicated professionals who were willing to place themselves in the line of duty to ensure that every citizen to our country and all of those within our borders are safe from harm. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Jim. Okay, Commissioner's Office requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting of August 4th, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner DeWark?
Yes.
Commissioner
Aye.
Spillier? Commissioner Lennon?
Aye. Okay.
On September 4th, for Water Resources, I approved and executed the Ohio Water Development Authority Fund payment request number 15 for technical services for the Chardon Township wastewater treatment plant and sewers project, Henning Road, in the amount of $2,871.41.
Very good, thank you. Okay, Adrian, good morning.
Morning. Okay, today's financials include an appropriations transfer to the Sheriff's Office for reimbursement of web checks and miscellaneous reimbursements that were deposited into the general fund. Cash transfers include one from the Coronavirus Relief Fund to various departments to reimburse them for unbudgeted expenses incurred as a result of the pandemic, in accordance with your resolution of acceptance 20-103. And another one from the general fund to juvenile court care and custody to reimburse for expenses incurred but not covered by the grant. Among the encumbrances are then and now from JFS to Miss Pat's Daycare for child care expenses incurred in March but not previously encumbered. And vouchers include $70,461.31 from the Board of DD to Empire Paving LLC for asphalt paving repairs, $40,000 from the engineer's office to Bainbridge Township for a used 2007 5-ton international plow truck, $143,300 from the engineer's office to Chester Miller Construction for the maintenance building metal roof install, and $34,990.49 from the sheriff's office to Benco Dental Supply Company for inmate dental equipment paid for out of the commissary fund. And finally, there are 2 revenue certifications, one from the auditor and their Coronavirus Relief Fund for additional monies received from the state, and Water Resources for additional reimbursements and refunds received.
So the $40,000 from the engineer's office to Bainbridge Township for 2007 5-ton international used plow truck, was that, are we buying a truck from Bainbridge? Is that
Correct. Yeah, they tend to rotate their I talked with Katie about this, and they tend to rotate their trucks rather frequently.
Okay.
And the last one that they got from them was a really good deal and a good quality truck. It was still older, but not a lot of miles. They don't drive a really large area, so they saw the opportunity and for this next one and decided to take it after they inspected it. So
okay? And
Merton Township bought a couple of them from them also.
From Bainbridge?
Yeah, because they take really good care of them, low mileage.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, a new one like that's probably well over $100,000.
No, I'm aware what they are. It
Yeah.
just, that, it doesn't have much other detail there as far as how it's equipped or how many miles are on it, but being
No.
$40,000 for a used truck, I'm just wondering where they come up with that number, I guess I could ask, but.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
anyone from the engineer's office is here right now. So.
Okay.
I got a question on $143,000 engineer's office to the Miller Construction. Who reviewed the prevailing wage reports?
That would have been Nick. He does the prevailing wage for the engineer's office.
I'm gonna guess that could be close to final payment because we did the change order on that project just a couple weeks ago.
You did a change order for a decrease of like 23,000.
Correct, right, so this is probably could be the last payment on it.
I can double check on that, I'm not privy to that.
Okay. All right, any other questions or comments? Okay.
Make that motion.
Yep.
Second.
Commissioner DeWart?
Yes.
Commissioner Floyd?
Aye.
Commissioner Levin?
Yes.
Okay, and then the next item is your next resolution of acceptance for CARES Act expenditures. And this one is for a total of $14,712.21. For reimbursement, we have $2,907.65, which is $139.30 from the building department for PPE and sanitation. The coroner's office is $190.95 for PPE, and the engineer's office is $2,577.40 for PPE, sanitation, and plexiglass dividers for their vehicles to maintain social distancing. And on the proposed is $11,804.56, and that's for aging, $7,122 for 3 commercial freezers to aid in meals programs due to the no congregate meals and an increased demand for home delivered and curbside service. The building department is $320. This is for deep cleaning and sanitation of their vehicle interiors. For the engineer's office is $1,505.88, which is for the setup of the security cameras and associated parts, licenses, and labor to enhance security for the lower staffed office. And public defender is $2,856.68 for 1 laptop with accessories and a desk and chair for remote work.
Very good. Okay. Do you need you need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner DeWart?
Yes.
Commissioner
Aye.
Floyd? Commissioner Levin?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have anybody from the Jaga Historical Society here today?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, good. Okay.
Copy of some information.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, yeah, yep. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
Good. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you. And I appreciate very much you putting us on the agenda.
You bet.
I did send you some paperwork that you maybe have gone through a
Yep,
little bit.
yep.
I don't know how much time I have. Does,
As much as you need.
okay, well, I just wanted to come to you and express to you our desire to continue with Century Village and the society. Right now, we are hurting a bit for money, and we're trying to get through the end of the year. We have a number of dedicated volunteers who are equally as enthusiastic and passionate as I am about the village. I think it's a true diamond in the rough, and it's too bad that most of Jaga County doesn't even know that we're there. So that's one of our goals, is to expand ourselves enough to reach those people that have not, seen the village. We have a number of buildings. I think we have 25 at this point in time, and almost all of them are loaded with artifacts and beautiful things. We have a textile program, thousands and thousands of beautiful period clothing. Right now, the newest thing that we have is the Maple Museum, and that in itself is really pretty unique. We have about a couple of volunteers that have worked on the depot, and that exhibit is all ready to show to the public also. Our church has been scraped and painted by Bill Troyer. We're working very hard to do a lot of maintenance, and as I put in your packet of paper, I won't go over all the buildings, but they are listed in order of the need for roofing. And in order to do that, we're going to try to put a program in place for, it's going to be called Raise the Roof. And we're going to try to get outside help to have people take an interest in a certain building, or at least bring in some revenue to help us get these roofs done, because if we don't, they're going to be leaking and things are
Gonna get ruined.
Yeah, we gotta take care of it. And unfortunately, right at the time, we don't really have the money to do all of that. So we're hoping that program will, you know, put an interest out there to the public. We are also trying to reinitiate the program of Heritage Partners. This is where businesses and people have taken interest in a certain building and have given a certain amount of money. And as you see down below, as donors, there's different categories, and with each category, it gives what they get in return. And basically, a lot of them like to have that little plaque that goes on the building. So that program we had in effect a few years ago, and somehow it just kind of went by the wayside, but.
Well, then, were you here a couple of years ago
No.
talking to us
No,
about this? Yeah,
I'm
'cause
great,
this-
I'm new.
Okay.
I've only been there 2 years.
Yeah, because
And-
we were part of this conversation, or I would, and Ralph and I, and, you know, we've been dealing, you know, talking about this for a number of years now, and this was one of the initiatives. We said you need to start reaching out to
I think so
businesses
too,
and,
yeah.
and get some sponsorships, and I do see that you have added more events, which is great. You know,
Yes.
because that is really where your revenue's at, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And of course, this year, we've had to
Yeah.
cancel just about everything.
It's really taken a toll here. Yeah.
I'm the new president as of the beginning of this year, and what a terrible year to be the president, because I
Yeah.
can't do anything.
Right. I believe, yeah.
But anyhow, that's what we're trying to do, and we did have some things planned for this year that, you know, we haven't been able to bring to fruition.
Right.
But we're planning on adding more things for, even for the adults. The Halloween program that we had for the kids really was very successful, and we want to have a Halloween get-together for the adults, because many of the adults' parents have asked for that. They thought that would be fun. So we've gone after a few things. I did get the PPP loan, and that helped us get us through 8 months with our payroll, which is small. We only have, I think, 4 people on the payroll. One has gone on unemployment, one is full-time and one is part-time. The other gal, she runs the store, so she's in there on weekends.
Right.
And that's really our only source of revenue right now.
So are you open for business? I mean, are people coming in, or
No,
we're pretty much
they're
closed?
walking through, but nothing's open officially.
Okay.
We officially closed till January.
Okay.
And because the health department said that we couldn't do the apple butter, and that was really one of our big events also, you know, to bring in revenue. So, but our volunteers are still working. They're socially distancing and masking and doing their thing, but they're still in there cleaning and working on projects that, exhibits and things that they want to finish up.
So did I hear that the
Tourism.
Destination Tourism, they moved into the buildings with you?
We did.
Yeah.
We made a spot for them in the same building where the general store is, and,
That's good. We've been saying that for, I don't know how
well,
many years.
I have to say, though,
Yeah.
that they've moved out.
Oh, they did?
Yes, but we're down the road, we'd like to still do that again. I don't know that they're gonna, I hope that they continue. And I'm not really here to plead for them,
No, I get it.
but I do feel that it's an important organization. And the reason we worked to get them there, Debbie Farinacci was their
Yeah.
director, and she really bent over backwards to get us to approve it. And we did, and we got it all, they got it all painted, we got it all, they moved in, and then, you know,
Were they paying rent?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And,
And so
But-
you put expenses into the rent, was there a contract, rental
yes,
contract?
yes, we had a contract.
Mhm.
So.
And where are they now?
They're just, they said that they just don't even know if they're gonna continue, because they.
Well, they
were
have,
in-
I mean, they get
money.
revenue through our bed tax, so that.
But there's very little bed tax now, because Maple Leaf is no
Right.
longer, and, I guess
Punderson-
Punderson is their
yeah,
only other.
Yeah.
But they
do
just
get-
couldn't make it.
They
at
do
this
get
point.
X amount of dollars every year.
But
So, yeah.
apparently it just financially wasn't working either. And so we really didn't want to just use it as storage space for them because we have other things that we've moved out that now we're gonna put back, which
Yeah.
is our interpreters.
Right. Well, the idea was that, Geauga Tourism and Destination there with the story, it would be a draw for outside.
It is,
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
And so I personally would like to get them back,
Mhm.
maybe in 2021 or whenever they're up and moving again, and we are fluent again.
We should probably reach out to them and get an update as to where they're at, with,
Because
the
when I
COVID
last talked
and-
to
yeah.
Gina, she wasn't sure what they were gonna do, and it sort of sounded iffy, like they weren't gonna do it, and so we thought, well, we're not gonna spend the next 4 or 5 months
Mhm.
just storing things.
No,
when
I
we
get
need
it,
to-
I
We
get
need
it.
to do baskets and things. So anyhow,
So-
we made a sacrifice to bring them in, and we really do want to work with them because my goal is, I feel that we should be working with the Commerce, Chamber of
Mhm.
Commerce, actually even the Fair,
Mhm.
Fair Board, I'm
Absolutely.
very involved with the Fair, and Geauga Tourism. And I know that they had, their program was pretty decent, and they were about to become much more successful.
Mhm.
So I think that we should all be
Absolutely.
working together to make
Have you
it-
met Dave Favorite? He's a,
No.
Dave, have you ever met the two of you?
How do you do?
I
Hi,
suggest,
Dave. Hi,
probably, you maybe,
And he's
just-
with?
Economic Development, he's our director
Okay.
here at the county,
Okay.
and I think Dave may be able to maybe help assist in some information as far as pointing in the right directions, whether it be with getting maybe interested businesses to be part of this,
Right.
your initiatives here, but also with tourism too, and trying to make sure we're all on the same page and not
Right,
a bunch of
right.
fractured silos, everybody going their own direction,
Exactly.
right?
I know we have a space issue. Down, in the past, there was discussion, because we knew that this was something that the commissioners also had wanted. If we had the money, or we can get something like this with
Mhm.
sponsorships, we'd really like to add on and make it a better space, so that it's
Mhm.
not taking away from us, but it can still keep us, working together and keeping them close, because I think it's an ideal place for them also.
Sure. So
So-
we're, not to keep interrupting, but where are you at with 2020 as far as your numbers? I see 19 in your
Yeah.
net profit, but it looked like you were going in the right direction,
Right.
and then 2020.
Right, exactly. Well, I don't have exact numbers with me, but I do know that our account right now is down to about $10,000.
That's it,
And it's
it
gonna
total?
Yeah. I mean, we have money in the Cleveland Foundation, which we have tapped. We're about to tap. We're in the process of doing that, just to try to get us through the end of the year. If we can get through the end of the year and into Pancake and so forth.
Yeah. Do you have any debt?
Ooh, not that I know of. I mean,
So let me ask you something, not to
Sure.
interrupt, but this is, I struggle with this, because like, you guys have a great facility there. You've got that nice big,
building.
that has the ability of having, whatever events you guys want. And I'll be honest with you, I get a little bit disturbed every time I've sat in these meetings and had to listen to this. You guys need to apply yourselves, and there, you have the ability to do all kinds of things. And instead of coming in here wasting time asking for money, why don't you put this time into doing something to get that promoted and get that place buzzing? And if you can't do it, then go find somebody to basically promote that and start to, whether you rent it out to an event planner or something. But you guys have the ability to basically to be totally in the black with no problem. You want to, I have a problem when somebody is struggling for cash. They're looking to expand. We need to get under control what is at hand, and then look to expand. I mean, it's a terrible business plan. And I think that you guys have a facility there that you could knock it out of the park. And this whole COVID thing, everybody's using this as an excuse. You could still do certain things and be within regulation of being able to do that. We could all lay down and just die right now, or we could stand up and fight. Which one do you want to be? And I just think that you guys have an incredible facility there to be able to do all kinds of stuff. If you're here today to ask for money, I'm not giving you nothing. You need to go out there and hustle, just like everybody else in the real world does. And you need to, you have an incredible, facility there, an incredible location. You're right in the center of Burton. You're right next to the fairgrounds. All this stuff, it's just an incredible place. And I can tell you this. I mean, I know myself. If that was mine, that thing would be printing money, because you can do it there. And I just, it's frustrating because we've talked and we have beat this thing to death. I've been here for 8 years, and it's like people have, and I'm not, don't take this like personal or the wrong way that I'm like trying to, be sarcastic or rude or anything. I'm just telling you from my heart is you have the ability to make that place into the gem that you say it is. It could be. And you could identify and bring a lot of people there and make that place into a cash cow for your organization. You just got to start to do stuff. And there's organizations out there that will gladly do stuff and start to bring you funds. But there's, all we hear about is the money problems. All we hear about is, doom and gloom, half empty. But what have you guys done to reach out to other people to possibly bring some fundraisers into that facility to be able to raise your cash?
We have a calendar of events that go
So
into that building.
those might not be the right events.
Well, they're wedding receptions.
$10,000 is nothing. $10,000 is nothing. That is nothing. Literally, $10,000 is nothing. If you're here saying you guys are $10,000 right now in the red, that is nothing. You could have a weekend event and bring $10,000 and no problem. There is no problem. It's just you got to put it together. You can't come here and ask that we're going to give you money when you guys are not applying yourselves. It's that simple.
Well, I totally disagree with you, because I believe that we do have a calendar of events that we had to cancel due to COVID. And on top of that, we did also...
But you guys canceled that based on what, though? Because you just thought that was the nice, soft, feely thing to do? Or is that because...
No, we were told through the health department that we couldn't have events.
Okay, well...
And on top of that, we had the building reserved for you for the overflow, so that we did not schedule events
Right.
during that period of time.
Right.
Because we did not know
Sure.
what was gonna happen. So I think in years past, when you look at the figures of how much,
No,
I'm sure we can do better, don't
Right.
get me
No-
wrong.
No doubt about it.
And you have, and that's,
And that's increased
Yeah.
almost every year.
Yep.
Right.
You guys have
So-
been on the right track as far
And
as.
for the new events that we want to have,
Totally agree.
we will do that.
And we
But
got
I'm
it.
just
and
simply saying,
this year's a tough year for everybody, and here's the thing
it
is,
is.
if you have to go to a bank to get lent on the on the property that you have or whatever to get through this, like everybody else, it's a tough time. The businesses are struggling. This thing has thrown everybody into the loop. But I'm just telling you is you guys have an absolute great opportunity there. And I think this place could just be humming. And not only for you, but what it'll bring to the whole community of Burton and that whole area into Geauga County. It's a win-win for everybody. So I support you 1,000%, and if there's something that I could help you with myself, through my business, whatever you need, I am 100% in. But it's just a matter that we have to get to the point that that place has to get utilized and utilized a lot stronger.
And that was always the thing early on was, that it did become self-sufficient. You're not relying on this, stipend every year from the county is what it was,
Right.
And it looks like since, those payments has stopped back in 16 or, prior to that, and that was, I forget the fellow's name that was the past president, and I sat down with him and I called him. Actually, I was trying to make a donation, and I couldn't even get a return phone call. You know what I mean? I was trying to donate money to the Century Village, and nobody called me back.
And if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, there was even a veterans group and I can't recall exactly, about 2 years ago, that was trying to make a donation. And they had called me, and I can't recall now either, because it's the same person that Tim is talking
Bill
about.
Jackson.
Yeah, that I had given them the contact information to try to get a hold of, to do a donation. And they never donated money, and they were going to donate money.
yeah, no,
But it looks like you have done.
Mr. Jackson, Bill Jackson, that used to be on the Historical Society president several years ago.
But it does look like it's, that it has taken ownership of its own finances, and it looks like it's been successful, right? I mean, all in all, I mean, it can always be better, but it was on course, is what I'm saying, and
Right,
it looks.
I feel it,
Yeah.
I feel it is, because I feel that, in the meetings that I've had with, our board and so forth, their enthusiasm is greater than it has been, I feel, in the
Right.
past, from
Yeah.
what I'm being told.
Right, and I think it was starting to get a little, maybe like, everyone was worn out.
Right,
It
it was just a 10%, 90% rule.
Yeah,
10% of the people were doing 90% of the
Right,
work.
exactly,
Absolutely,
exactly.
absolutely.
And it just.
We need younger people.
It's not
Exactly,
easy,
that was the
right.
other thing.
You know?
Yeah. It's
And
not easy.
It's not easy to get volunteers, it's not easy to do that, but it's a situation that there's also, and I had talked to one of the members, about some fundraisers that actually, like companies that actually, promoters. And I even said, work out a deal where they basically give you a stipend of X number of dollars, that they give you a rent to be able to do this, and then you get a percentage of whatever event they have on top of it, Something that gives you a fixed income of coming in all the time. There's
Right,
things
right.
that you could do to be able to do this. And it was just never an idea that really, the ideas that they were always good when you told them, but the follow-up was zero.
And then I think also with Burton too, partnering with them and trying to,
Yeah, I totally agree. Burton is a unique town.
Yeah.
It is. It's a unique town. It has a
that
lot
area,
of.
I mean, it's the prettiest spot
Yeah.
in Jaga County.
It is.
It really
It is.
is.
It is.
It's a great spot,
Yeah.
And I don't want to see you guys have a problem, and I don't want to see you leave. I like that. I like that place a lot. I take my daughter there and we walk around. I don't want to see it leave, but
At the schools.
At the end of the day is, I think we need to just figure out how to fine tune that, one day we might come to you guys for money because you should be making that much, So I totally support you guys, and I want to see you guys do good, but I appreciate you coming in today. Yeah, and you've got our numbers too, and see if Christie get you one of my cards too, and listen, we're all behind you, and we'll support you any way we can, but
Okay.
we can try to revisit this, but.
Okay, well, I seriously just wanted to come in and let you know, the things that we're planning on doing and we would like to do, so whether or not we can,
Yeah.
it would be nice
Yeah.
if we could still have the apple butter thing, but I agree with you on the bond building, and we've
Oh,
talked
yeah.
about this an awful lot.
Yeah.
That there is a need, spaghetti dinners, anything,
Totally.
just to keep it moving.
When's the apple butter supposed to be?
October.
I mean, there's, you can do it. You can do it. I mean, I don't know, but I mean.
I would say do it.
I mean, I don't.
I would say do it.
There's things you're gonna have to do, but to meet certain requirements, but you can still have events,
Yeah, and just be safe about it,
Yeah.
be common sense. I'm just telling you, it's just, we cannot lay down and die,
Oh, I agree
We
with
cannot
you.
do that.
I totally agree with you.
And it I'm just telling you, you're risking your financial position of losing what you have, Finally, you gotta just do it,
Is this property in a trust, or is it in a company, or who owns the property?
It's a 501c3, correct?
Pardon me?
501c3.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it might be worthwhile, Dave, I don't know, maybe to sit down with her and just kind of go over their situation and just see if there's something, where they could take advantage of, whether it be, I don't know if there's grants out there, whatever, different.
Yeah, David's a wealth of knowledge, and I think that's a good idea, Tim.
Mhm.
Even in the next 2-year series of block grants too.
Mhm.
You can apply for that.
Like these buildings being fixed up, that may qualify, and I don't know, I'm just
Do you think
spitballing.
do you think that some of that might qualify?
Could meet the national objectives, we'll take a look at it.
Yeah,
Okay, that's great.
Get some
doesn't-
roofs taken care of.
That next
Right.
grant doesn't start,
Yeah.
we're still into the second year, next year's the second year of the current grant.
Right.
Mhm.
It's a little ways off, but we could start planning.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because what it basically is it's about, well, now they've increased it to what? It's like 214,000,
Maybe
a
even
little
three
higher, more than that. So and then what happens is we get these dollars that come in from the state, And the three of us actually have the ability of making a decision of who gets that. And we try to give, we go out for applications, and people then can submit applications for different repairs. Like we've put bathrooms at the airport, we put bathrooms at the Department on Aging, we put bathrooms,
Paving.
Yeah, because it has to meet ADA.
it makes ADA requirements, but then we also did a situation down at, in Chagrin Falls there in Bainbridge, where we replaced we replaced a roof. We replaced a roof at the VF, or the American Legion in Bainbridge, or Burton. So there's a lot of these things that we could do, but he's the master behind that, and he knows what you can and can't do to fulfill those legal obligations of what falls under those. And if it's a project that he can do, we can help you with that, and we will be glad to help you with that.
And I would, it's still, I'm kind of surprised actually that the Jog Tourism did not fulfill that obligation
Yeah,
or
that's
whatever.
kinda sad.
That's really,
They let their director go, my sister, and she's not there.
okay. But we gotta
So
figure out, that, I think that is one thing that we've been trying, that should be one and the same.
Yeah.
They should be connected at the hip, as you come into Jog Tourism.
Right.
Bang, you're already here at the store, and it's all.
Well, with Debbie,
yeah.
we did have a lot of hope that
Yeah.
we could work together, and
And maybe
she's
what
on
we can
our
do.
board also, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're new, right? When
Right.
did you start?
Well, I've been there about 2 years.
Okay,
Yeah,
so.
a little over 2 years.
And I applaud you for, there's a lot of history that goes behind, more
Right,
than just.
which I'm
the-
really
right.
not
Yeah, I know.
caught up with.
Right, so
you know.
don't take it, like Ralph said, don't take it personal.
Yeah, it's
No,
not personal.
I'm not, it's
Yeah.
constructive, and
Right. But that's something also that maybe we can look at is, though those dollars are very minimal, but there's a possibility that maybe we can have that discussion with tourism to say,
Mhm.
maybe there's a possibility of you guys being able to fulfill both of those roles, and possibly
That's
have the
right.
ability of having those funds, directed to you guys as fulfilling that tourism role or
Exactly.
something that can
Right.
be worked out.
Exactly.
So then you have, an income coming in. But I'm just saying is that there's more than one way to skin this cat, but we just have to have, there needs to be a plan. And then we need to execute it,
Okay.
And I think that that's something that we need to maybe just kind of look at of what that tourism thing is, of where exactly we stand with it. But listen, none of the three of us want to see that place go, and we want to see it, preserve it and move forward. But it just sometimes, unfortunately, we're put in a trick bag of where do we give money and where do we
Right,
not,
Right, right.
Yeah.
and we're struggling just like everybody else, So
So I guess, it does seem pretty dire, though. You're running on fumes right now. Like, if you only have $10,000 left in your account.
Well, we've have a connection with Cleveland Foundation.
Okay.
So we're gonna hopefully get some money from them.
Okay.
I mean, it's our money that's in there, so it's just a matter of tapping it.
I see.
So I don't, and I'm really hopeful too that this EIDL loan will come through. and,
Mhm. I mean,
thank
I
you.
don't see any reason why Century Village cannot be up and running, especially in today's environment, with the safety precautions they have to take in place, but so many people are sitting at home or looking for things to do, or, that could have been potentially cranking this summer, really, I mean, it
Well,
might
then
not have been the
we
same.
Then we totally misunderstood
Yeah.
the health departments and the governors,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Because that's what we were basing everything on,
No.
was whether to continue or not, because we didn't want a black mark because we're not being
Right,
um,
no, I mean,
sensitive to it.
like Ralph said.
no,
I
we
mean,
respect that.
But you can't.
You can't die.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't.
all that's well and good, but, if they came in and told me I can't do my business, I'm telling you, I'm gonna do my business,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are dependent on that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's your survival,
Yeah.
So I have to get a little gutsier.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, like Tim, he's feel free to utilize the resources, but like Tim, I mean, he's great with that stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to help, whatever, and that's what I've said for the last 4 years, if I can help. And, the last time I tried to offer, it wasn't, I guess they didn't need it or whatever, but, if we can help
Well, I
make
started to
connections
get
or,
that happen.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah. But I would,
Can't
let's,
imagine
Dave,
if
let
they
Dave,
trained
why don't you, you know, if we could follow up, and then, we'll follow up with Jog Tourism for you.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, we
Because
will
we
do that.
we do want to work with them. There's no, you know, there's no doubt about that.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
I think
it makes
that's
total
really a
sense.
draw and a very important, they do good work, so.
Yeah,
you
it
know.
makes sense, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you
Well,
so
thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you,
Yeah,
I
just wanted
appreciate.
to, want to say a couple things. I know that
Yeah.
you inherited a lot of issues, some negative,
Yes.
but I know Bobby Nichols through 4-H and auxiliary, and I'm glad that you're at the new leadership role.
Well,
I know
I'm
things are
trying.
going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen overnight.
I know,
Right.
I know.
But there's some negative things that that you've been inherited
Right.
with, and I know that you can start changing things.
Yeah,
So I'm glad you're at the position you're at.
thank you.
And I know that you can work not only with Burton Chamber of Commerce, but all the Chamber of Commerces in Johnson County.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and we did also, I didn't mention it, but I had a letter sent out to the townships, you know, telling them that we need maintenance work on buildings, and I was trying to tap the fact that they would be interested in the building that came from their area.
Mhm.
You know, and
Good
maybe
point.
there would be an interest there.
Like
but-
that church or from
Yeah,
Auburn. or-
yeah. So, that.
That's a good idea.
I think that was something that was,
You know, even if it was just donating elbow grease, you know,
Yes,
to
yes,
go over and help,
yes.
yeah.
And I've literally scraped the building down with my rotary and painted it.
Right.
You know, this is like 4 or 5 years ago.
right, right.
So everybody has to roll
I
up
mean,
their
that's a good
sleeves and
idea.
chip in.
You know, get,
Yeah.
you know, then they have some ownership in it and some pride in it for
Right.
their specific thing to look well and make
Right.
sure they maintain it and.
I agree. I'm very optimistic that we can do better. The bond building is really one of the issues, and Sandy's with me, Sandy Mueller, wherever you are. She can even vouch for the fact that we've talked a lot about,
Yeah.
you know, even a Friday night, movie night for the kids
Yeah,
and
totally,
bring them
totally,
in, you know, I mean, there's all
totally.
kinds of
I mean-
things. I want to do a concert on the back hill,
Yeah,
and so I've had some
Oh, yeah.
contacts with Chris Higby and a couple of the people like that. and-
That's huge right
it
there.
is,
I
and you'll
think it
get,
would be-
you'll get
You'll
people,
get
trust
it.
me.
I
I mean,
think so,
Ralph,
too.
you know, through his business, he does events all
Yeah.
the time throughout the
Yeah.
county and
I-
see. Yeah.
Honestly, you know, utilize our resources.
I
and
will,
we-
I will.
You know,
I definitely will.
we're a phone call away. Just
Okay.
call us, you know,
I
honestly.
appreciate that.
We'll support you 1,000%.
Okay, I
Yeah.
appreciate that, I really do.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jim.
Another
Thanks.
thing to consider too is maybe reaching out to like the Eagle Scouts that are in the area. They're always looking for projects to do for the Eagle Scout project.
Yeah, that's true
Yes.
too.
You know,
Good
that's
one.
part of them is to raise the money to do the project, so.
That's huge.
That's also something
Yeah.
else to.
We've got a lot of resources in this county for sure.
And a lot of people want to help.
Yeah.
Well, Jog Leadership too was going to come last fall. Was it last fall, Sandy? I can't remember. Anyhow, sometime this year, and they were giving us a day of work. And we
Okay.
had a whole list of
Yeah.
projects that we thought that they would be able to do.
And part of that too is you may attract people that see that there's a need, and then you can build off of those people to become members, you know, and volunteers more and more. So the more you have it out there, the better it's going to be.
Right.
Do you still have the connection with all the schools, you know, bringing the kids? I know
Oh,
it's
yes.
not now,
Okay.
but,
Sandy's in charge of that.
Yeah.
Pioneer School.
Yeah,
And that's a really
I remember
important
that as a
program,
kid.
and
Yeah,
it's
it's
been very
great.
successful.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, she does a beautiful job on that.
Yeah.
and,
So all the schools in Jog County and even the surrounding areas, like you will charge them to come out and put on those
right.
days? Yeah.
Yes, they do. Well, the Pioneer School is for a week, and that's like a camp type
Mm.
thing. But the tourism that we have at the schools,
Mm-hmm.
yes, we have them come out and they spend 2.5, 3 hours.
Exactly.
And go through, I think, maybe 4 buildings, 5 buildings.
Good.
Depends on the timing that they have lunch there.
So that's still strong.
But we're also trying to do a visual tour type situation where.
Oh, like
people-
virtual, you
Yeah.
mean? Yeah. So, but is that strong with the schools? I mean, is that?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it
I
is.
mean, revenue-wise strong?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because I think it's important, not only is it good for you, but it's
Yeah.
important for the, you know, kids
And-
to see that.
And
Yeah.
our store is even doing better. We're doing more online stuff, you know, and adding different kinds of merchandise was my hope to
Good.
just, you know, we're trying to stay in the period of time, but it's,
Yeah,
I'd like to see a Snickers candy bar in there, and we have.
Not the Hard Rock candy or whatever? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you
but
so much, yeah.
You're welcome.
Keep
and
in
thank
touch
you
with
for
us.
having me. I
Keep the
appreciate it.
communication open.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
will, I will,
Yeah.
and I'm very open for the criticism, I'm very open for any
No, no,
suggestions
totally.
or help or anything, so
Yeah.
I-
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
touch
happy
base
to put it
again.
in place, okay?
For sure.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so with that, Department of Aging?
Good morning.
Good morning, Jessica.
So this one's a long time coming here. Quite some time ago, Jerry and I, we had the opportunity to speak with John Rice at the Metzenbaum workshop. And he was explaining that toward the end of this year, maybe beginning next year, they would no longer be able to utilize a workshop for their clients. There were some changes in the rules. So he was looking for ways to use the building within the county. So what we would like to do is have you approve envelope consulting services, architect engineering firm to do a code review, an assessment, recommendations to see if we could use that for senior center purposes.
Okay, so this would be at the business part, or the company part of,
So there's the school, so it's
Yeah.
not the school, it's
It's
like
the-
right down, there's the school, there's those little houses, and
Yeah.
then there's a workshop
Yeah,
space. So
okay.
we're looking at that workshop space.
and configure that into a senior center.
We're gonna see if it's possible,
Okay.
you know.
And then would you eliminate
Would you
West
eliminate
Valley?
Tesla then?
Our lease does end at this point in, let's see, April.
Yeah.
So certainly,
I totally
if
support
this
this.
made sense, we would look to, you know, transition.
That's the idea of bringing it back,
Yeah.
bringing it in under a building that the county already owns.
Yeah,
and
totally
not
agree.
paying rent
We would look to
and-
transition.
But
It would
the
save-
problem is we're changing completely changing the use of the building. So
Right,
we
it
gotta-
wouldn't be a-
We gotta see what needs to be done, because it may not be.
Yeah.
It may not be
financially viable.
realistic, we hope it is, but in just briefly understanding that we're looking to transition it from a workshop to a community center, and I guess those are two, and I'm sure you
Yeah.
called Dan, those are two vastly different
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
codes and whatnot, but we definitely want to see
The
what it would
workshop-
take and if it's feasible.
The workshop, the
Certainly.
last time I was in there was a
Huge.
little, it was being used as an incubator really for a startup business, which I thought was pretty cool.
There is one, yes.
And I don't know if they've gotten bigger and moved out of there yet or not.
They are still there. So right now, it is a hybrid space in the workshop of the clients for MSI. There's a
Mhm.
workshop space for those clients. And there is a business called Filament. They
Yeah.
do the 3D printing.
Right.
So
make
they are
the-
currently
yeah.
in that space, and I think they are just waiting to see what may occur and who may own that building
Mhm.
for their decisions for their
No,
business.
it definitely makes sense to utilize, I know we've been trying to struggle to find ways to repurpose Metzenbaum properties, right? And this makes sense.
Yeah, having them come in will give us a good idea, you know, what's realistic, what's feasible, how much it would cost. And all
How
the
much are
steps
we
do.
talking with this consulting?
So this is giving me permission to select them and then work on executing a contract. So step one of this contract
Okay.
is simply for recommendations, plan review. If it makes sense, we'll go to phase two, which would be the drawing process and how to make this happen. But this is just the review and a general idea of what's possible in this space.
Do you know how much roughly we're talking, dollars and cents here for this consulting?
You know, just throwing around some numbers, I think it's probably going to be under 10,000.
Mhm.
And I'm guesstimating for this plan review.
Do you know?
I think for this part of it, because it's code review, it's digging through, you know, looking at everything, and that they're looking probably, I would guess they're probably looking at about $8,000
Yeah.
bill.
Okay.
But that's what we'll be doing is
We have to execute a
negotiating with them on that
contract.
contract, so it's.
So did you do a review of these consulting services or?
Yes, so what happened was the community economic development, they went out for requests for qualifications, I believe back in February, and of course those trickled in right in March, right when
Oh, yeah.
everything, so we're a little behind on this, and I spent some time working with Dan as well and talking about the qualifications, and Envelope Consulting, they have a very long history of working with government facilities as well as senior specific facilities and community centers. So
Okay.
it made a lot of sense to go with a specific
Okay.
consulting firm.
Okay.
Yeah, we followed the process. You
Okay.
Get the
Yeah.
qualification, we've already done that through another department, so we're able to utilize those and
Great.
look at those and.
Okay.
make a motion on 6.
Second?
Commissioner DeWark?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Swam?
Aye. Okay,
right,
very
thank
good.
you so
Good luck.
much.
Let us know how that goes.
Yes,
Makes sense.
Thanks, Jessica.
thanks.
Morning, Dan. Morning.
Hey, Dan.
Hi, Dan. How are you?
Good.
Okay, so we got some positions. Inspector.
Yeah, just, we're doing some house cleaning.
Okay.
Closing off some that, there's some reevaluation of part-time position, full-time position. We're still trying to fill one position that was vacated, middle of the summer here. And we've had some applications come in, but they actually they fall into a different inspector level than the position we advertised for, so we need to advertise for that position, have those applicants reapply, and then evaluate for a candidate at that point. So this is just to sort of do some house cleaning up some positions that are posted that we don't need posted, and then post the positions
Okay.
that we want to fill.
So is that on 7 and 8?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I'll make a motion on 7 and 8.
Second?
Commissioner DeWark?
Yes.
Commissioner Warren?
Aye.
Yes.
And then did that
Yep.
work out with that?
Yes, Jason, yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
Everything is going
good.
In fact, he just received his electrical safety inspector
Oh, nice.
training certification.
Good.
So he's already got that. We're moving forward. He's fitting in with the department very well.
Okay, good.
So yes, it's working out.
Excellent.
Appreciate
I've
it.
got my,
Any more on like the plumbing inspections yet? Have they made any calls on that or? not
At the
yet?
state level, there's still grumblings that they will be abolishing the health department plumbing inspector position and moving those all to building department
Okay.
or under the Board of Building Standards. So it
Almost
sounds
kinda
like
makes
makes
sense.
more sense.
it does.
It's more work, but it's,
Yeah, it does. And so Jason has that plumbing, I
Okay.
have the plumbing. So if that does happen, we won't be caught off guard.
Yeah.
But we'll be able to handle the initial wave of it. So-
Okay.
And that might happen in a year and a half from now.
Yeah, I mean, in realistic, I bet you it's probably a 2-year process by the time it all
Yeah.
gets handed all over and everything.
Yeah.
So, but it's,
Infighting down to
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
right, yes.
I don't want it. I don't want it. You can have it. Yeah.
Totally,
Exactly. So, thank you,
No,
appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. Good seeing you.
Yep.
Okay, water resources.
Morning, Steve.
Good morning, gentlemen, Christine.
This way.
We have 2 items on the agenda for today. The first item, requesting the board approve the promotion of Kathleen Miller to the position of fiscal and personnel specialist, be effective September 20th, and we're under a 180-day probationary period.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner DeWark?
Yes.
Aye.
Second item that I have is we're requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute the partial payment, number 8, for Workman Industrial Services for the Auburn Corners wastewater treatment plant, the Troy Oaks project, in the amount of $299,158.24.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner DeWark?
Yes.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Commissioner Warren?
Yes.
Just thought I'd bring up, the weekend, we had horrible rains. It's catastrophic in some respects. But for us, we're still trying to assess all the damage done.
Wow.
We actually had a sewer line exposed along the creek bed, so it's incredible, absolutely incredible.
Over Russell,
Canyon Lake.
Canyon Lakes.
There's some issues with backups and stuff, and people don't understand that they're tied into the sewer when they're not supposed to be. And when it backs up and it comes up through floor tiles, it should be tied into the sewer. It's not the county's responsibility, so we're wrestling with that right
Wow.
now. Some construction out there,
Yeah.
they've tied in some pumps to the sewer lines, things like that. And this past weekend, actually, sewage started coming up in some of the sump pump.
No kidding.
So it's been crazy. I was assuming I'd get some feedback.
Don't we have a couple low-lying plants too? Like, wasn't Russell Township,
Russell was, but we
Fixed that?
one a couple years ago.
I'll let my sanitary engineer speak.
We upgraded that plant and actually moved it and raised it, so that
Okay.
it was no longer.
what was it, was that Russell Lane or
It was
something?
Russell Lane.
Yeah.
It was at the end of Russell Lane.
Mhm.
There was actually, at one point years ago, because of the low lying they had built a dike around it, but the problem was the water would still get in.
It would get in.
Inside the dike and
It's
wouldn't be able to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So it was,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then we have issues with, sometimes we have long access roads to plants out there.
Yeah.
Like Valley View, they get washed out.
Mhm.
You know, roads can dam water up to get people worried about water in the backyard. But when you get 5 inches of rain south of 87,
Sure. Yeah,
I
it's
think it was the third worst in Ohio's history.
Amazing.
McFarland was almost completely
Gone. Yeah.
bad. It was bad.
When sewer plants are built, they're not built on the best parcel of land.
Right.
So it's,
Yeah.
right by the river, it's
Usually
down low,
low
it's,
point for gravity.
Yeah, for gravity, sure.
And the other thing I wanted to mention was about Chardon Township, that we voted to appeal that. As soon as that appeal is filed,
Okay.
I'd like to issue a notice to proceed so we can get on with
Okay.
talk with Jerry a lot about it,
Yeah.
and we need to get on with this.
Yeah.
Now, does that go to the 11th District Court of Appeals?
yes,
Okay.
So,
Totally agree.
the order itself doesn't prevent us from doing this,
No.
but you know, whenever you add lawyers.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
thank you, gentlemen.
Very good.
Thank you. Have a good day.
No, by the way, I was wondering if they did pay Protection Act for the Historical Society. If they had paid employees, if they got a grant.
they did.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
They did get that. Which is, you know.
Just like the VFW did that, and we got.
Yeah. Okay, so with that, let's see, there's nothing else. What's this, what's the criminal report? Oh, no, okay, that's just acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Okay.
He just has to file it on the bill or see.
Okay. Okay,
We did get the request from.
Oh, right.
the, attorney for Funk, Rosal and Andrus regarding the probate court.
yeah.
They have filed their paperwork, but the initial agreement was only for $10,000, and they're currently at about $9,000 after getting that paperwork all done and the initial cases filed.
Yep,
So they have requested an increase in that.
yeah. I think they they looked for an increase of up to 25,000 or something, and
Yeah.
I think it would be prudent to move forward in $10,000 increments from here on out with them, you know. Yeah. Okay?
Yep.
They have a motion to
So moved.
increase it by 10,000.
Second.
Yeah.
And then can I also ask then to have the board authorize the president to execute the letter from Funk regarding that increase?
Yep.
Does that old letter work for this letter?
He
No.
said that when he sent his letter, there's an acceptance and acknowledgement section
For-
on
okay.
this letter
Okay.
requesting the increase, so.
Okay. So if we
you
could have a
will
motion.
agree with that.
As
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner DeWart?
Yes.
Okay.
Aye.
So this was for an increase of additional $10,000.
Yeah. That didn't take long.
No, we knew it was going to,
Mhm.
just to get to the point of filing.
Yeah,
A lot of
that's
work.
like saying hello, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the old joke is an attorney can't clear his throat in a half an hour. so.
Right. Okay, very good. Motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Good.